Alright guys, welcome back to Jerk Block Talk. I am Jason Fernandez. We are here at CrossFit Rife. Today what we're going to cover is using themes within your programming or within your session plan. And usually the best place or the best reason to try to do this is so that you can address either deficiencies within your programming, within your athletes, or better or more targeted towards you as the coach, deficiencies within your coaching skill sets. So we're going to talk about a couple different ways to utilize themes in order to create a better product. For instance, the theme for our members this month, targeted towards me, is putting all of the weights on the wrong pegs and stacking them incorrectly so that I lose my mind and lose sleep at night, okay? As in this picture that I'm going to put up right now. And then Connor edit that in, I'll send you the picture. But let's talk about themes real quick. So there's a couple different ways we can do themes, and let's leave this in the context of the three major modalities within CrossFit: gymnastics, weightlifting, METCON, right? So most gyms are going to have a glaring weakness for whatever reason, whether it's your bias in your programming or you're just not comfortable teaching the movements, but we can address those systematically. Realistically, in our gym this month, the theme is very gymnastics based, so we're spending a lot of time in the warm-ups every month targeting simple gymnastics movements: hollow rocks, skin the cats, L-sits, things of that nature that you don't see or you don't program very often that have a lot of added value when you get to the workouts. So what you should do is kind of take a look at your previous month's programming, kind of do a little bit of evaluation on what the members didn't do so well at that month, and then base your targeting for the following month in your session plan on that. So don't just kind of make it up, try to get some data to figure out what you should target so that you're not necessarily targeting what you like. All right, so maybe a lot of your members in your gym, if you're like a lot of gyms, a lot of people don't have toes to bar, for instance, or a lot of people don't have handstand push-ups. You can use that, and that can kind of be the theme for the month. You can schedule in 5, 7, maybe even 10 minutes every day in your session plan to target that specific thing, and then you can figure out a good way to determine whether you got better or not, which is have a test in at the beginning of the month and then have a test out at the end of the month. So test the same thing 30 days apart and then see if the plan that you put together and then you executed in your session plan every day actually paid off. Same thing in weightlifting. Maybe there's some moves in there or some movements in weightlifting that as a gym overall that most of your athletes are deficient in. You can use a very small chunk of time in a 30-day period to put in some real quick skills and drills. Snatch balance would be one, jerk, some jerking technique movements and to put into your programming. And then Metcons, maybe that month you're starting everybody off on a row and you're getting everybody on a 750-meter row every single day for that month. You'd be hard pressed to not get some gain in aerobic capacity just by doing that every single month. So try it out. And again, do it based on data points that you have from previous month's programming. A lot of people are going to look at this and be like, oh, I'm going to target all the stuff that I like to do. Don't do that. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're definitely not doing your athletes any favors. So figure out what you're deficient at and then create the themes based off of that. The other way you can use this, right? So this can be targeted two ways. It can be targeted toward deficiencies of your athletes or your members in your gym, or it can be targeted at deficiencies of your coaches. This is a big one, right? So if you look at your programming and if you have a bias or you potentially have a fear of teaching certain movements, chances are that doesn't show up that much in your programming. This is a very easy way to systematically eliminate that weakness for you as a coach. So maybe you don't like teaching the snatch or you just don't feel you're that good at it. There's only one way to get better at it, and it's to teach it more frequently. Make going through the burden or warm-up the theme for the month. Your members are going to get a ton of value out of it, and so are you, so make that the theme. So it doesn't necessarily have to be targeted towards the athlete, it could be targeted towards you. It doesn't even have to be targeted toward movements per se. If you're going to target this towards coaching, it could be targeted towards classroom logistics, timeline, things of that nature. But again, or you could do both. You could have a theme for your members during the month and a theme for your coaches that month, and now you're killing two birds with one stone. But here's what I would tell you. Having a theme and then systematically figuring that into your overall plan for the month is going to have huge value to your members, to you as a coach, and there's a couple different ways you can do that. If you guys have different ways that you've done this or executed this in your gym where you've gotten some pretty good results, feel free to share that. Put it in the comments and we'll take a look at it and we'll share it with everybody. If you have questions about how more specifically to do that, put that in the comments. We can show you a couple different ways to do it. We've done it a couple different ways. We've targeted, push-ups, for instance, handstand push-ups, L-sits, and things of that nature, where you do a test at the beginning of the month and then you do a test at the end of the month, and then what should happen if you do it correctly is everybody will get better at the end of the month. And this is a way to get some of those folks who are really trying to knock out some of those goals, toes to bar, whatever. There's a lot of the ladies want toes to bars, ring dips, for instance, things of that nature. You can systematically start chipping away at those, and I don't have to put a huge chunk of time. Remember, 5 minutes over the course of 30 days is a really, really big chunk of time when you add all that together. So think about that overall volume over the course of a little bit longer span of time so that you can start knocking this stuff out. But again, this goes back into having a plan. When you walk in the gym every day, you can do a theme for the week, for the month, doesn't really matter. But as long as you have a theme, I think it's a pretty good way to add some value and to really kind of push your limits as a coach and as a professional. And again, you can schedule this and write this out however specifically or generally you want to in your session plan. So take another look at the video that we did on session planning, and then you can roll this into that. So guys, if you find this stuff valuable, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you have questions or anything of that nature, please put them in the comments. And awesome, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.